Hello everyone and welcome back to our very tall Sicily campaign. I have the economy tab open right now to show you one thing. Look how much money we are getting from our tributaries. We are getting 5 ducats per month from our tributaries. I'm wondering if there's any other way to increase the amount of tributary income besides just maybe more inventions down the line. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I haven't really run with many tributaries in the past. I've mostly just focused on expanding my own country whenever I go to war, so this is kind of a different play style, a different way I'm playing, so I haven't really paid that much attention to like increasing tributary income. Although I'm finding it very useful to have several tributaries. Also, the feudatories are super useful as well because they are just kind of extra manpower that I can throw into wars. And that's especially important considering right now I don't have any manpower. Alright, so let's talk about goals for today as I unpause. One, I plan on going to war with actually one of my tributes. That is going to mean I'm going to make some less tributary money for a little while. But, oh, look at this. Can no longer afford to pay the tribute. Oh, that's not my tributary, thankfully. So I do plan on attacking Hipponia, or at least canceling my tributary with them, and trying to attack them. We'll see. I have a feeling when I cancel my tributary, I'm going to get a really long truce timer. And hopefully they won't ally up with a bunch of the other people in the peninsula, but we will see. We have, at this point, pretty successfully cordoned off Magna Graecia from Rome. Let's actually take a look at what we don't own in Magna Graecia. So they do have, the Romans do have some of northern Magna Graecia, also this little sliver of land as well, but we have pretty much stopped their expansion southward into Magna Graecia. We have a pretty strong little block of alliances here with the Samniums, as well as all of my allies and tributary states. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go with the national manpower, try to get more manpower recovery speed up. I also would like to continue to convert my pops because right now several of my pops in Sicily itself do not follow the Hellenistic religions, which means my omen power just is not near as strong. That is kind of a side effect of one, taking over some Carthaginian land early in the game that followed the Carthaginian religion. Also, it is a side effect of taking so many slaves in this campaign. After all, one of my main goals of this campaign was to take a ton of slaves. I'm actually going to come down here, and I know that a lot of people will say, no, focus on your citizens as well, and your research output by building academies and libraries, but I want to go ahead and just keep trying to increase the amount of amount of money I get. So I'm actually going to build a tax office here. I think it's finally efficient. I do need to worry about my food situation because currently I'm actually losing food in both my provinces. That I cannot afford. So let's go ahead and look at our trade overview. And you can see that I am exporting grain to a couple different locations. So I'm going to go ahead and just cancel that grain as well as this one. And I'm going to import one more thing of grain from my province. Now they're in the green, and now they are in the green. So I have fixed my food situation, at least for now. I want to go ahead and look at where my grain is. I'm making grain here, in these two provinces there. So I'm making plenty of grain. I'm actually making quite a bit. I just need to think about how I want to distribute it, whether it's in my country or trade it overseas. I'm going to go ahead and definitely take the money here, since my stability is looking pretty good anyway, and instead of immediately getting an invention or building a building in one of my cities, what I think I'm going to come here and do is try to build a farming settlement in one of my grain producing provinces. That's just going to help increase the amount of grain that I produce. And right away I immediately have people wanting to trade for it. I'm going to ignore any calls for grain, at least for the time being. Let me go ahead and decrease my fleet maintenance. Wow, my fleet was very expensive. But I think it's important to maintain a very strong navy. Yeah, of course, they all want the grain. I don't want to give it to them. I do wish there was, and I have a feeling that this will come, but similar how you can not trade away your capital surplus, I want there soon to be, hopefully Paradox will eventually put a button in here that says, hey, don't trade away all my food. Or don't trade away food if it will cause me to go into, like, the red in food. I think the time has come to go ahead and see what happens when I hit the cancel tribute button. We actually did not get a truce timer, but our diplomat is going to keep us... We have a diplomat en route, so we are going to have to wait just under a month to actually declare war. Go ahead and move my 21,000 men to Messana. And you do have a fort that hopefully I can help take with my navy, so I'm going to increase my navy maintenance, even though that's going to hurt me. Also increase my army maintenance. Man, my army just isn't very expensive to maintain right now, is it? And I'm going to go ahead and declare war. I definitely do not want to call in Lucania, because I want to make sure that I take this. I'm going to declare war on the Hipponians. If this is successful, I'm also going to do this to the Crotons, because I want everyone who is of my culture group, which the Crotons are as well, everyone who is in my culture group, I want them to become feudatories. That's just going to give me extra manpower. It's going to help me with the... Oops. It's going to help... I accidentally clicked off and closed Imperator Rome for a second. It's going to help me with my manpower to have more feudatories, because they are actually going to give me 15% of their monthly manpower. But it's also just going to help me because, look, they have 17,000 men here and 12 cohorts. Those 12 cohorts could come in very handy in a war. I think a little bit more than just their tributary income. We have captured one of their main characters. That's good. My tyranny is not very high, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. I am going to lose 20 loyalty from one of my generals, but I think that it's okay. In fact, I may not even try to do any fighting in this war and just let my feudatories handle it. They're going to move 23,000 men here. I could go ahead and... Once my morale and my navy ticks up, I could go ahead and help them out. I don't think I want to completely destroy their fort. Oh. Awesome, we've lost food shortages. That's going to help us tremendously, because now I think I might even think about trading away some grain. Who knows? Oh, they're going to play... I'll go ahead and just move these 6,000 men in. Don't want to call my allies. Let's look at... I'm still getting in the positive as far as money goes. So let's maybe look at another invention. Maybe national manpower up. Again, everyone wants this grain. Maybe starting experience would be good. Or building costs down. Maybe I should actually just look into building some more buildings. In fact, let's go ahead and look at the province of, or the territory of Messana, where I think I'm going to go ahead and build... Let's go ahead and build a theater here as well, just because I want these pops to be in my culture group. Again, everyone just wants grain. In Syracuse, where I have lots of slaves. Oh. We'll go ahead and have my son, who I should actually look at. Oh, look at our son. He is awesome. I'm going to send him to Macedon to compete in the games, but when he returns, I plan on putting him in charge of an army and grooming him for eventual leadership. Is he my... No, he is unfortunately not my primary heir. My primary heir is this man. He's 22 years old. I'm going to go ahead and arrange a marriage. I always forget to arrange marriages here. He is not amazing. Oh my goodness, he is actually quite bad. So he needs a good consort. Let's go with... Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with you. Although he is almost dead, so I'll arrange some festivities, but he's going to die very soon. He's my poor son who is brain damaged. Poor guy. Never even had a chance. Who's my next eldest son? Thankfully it is Agathocles the Great. I'm calling him great because he seems great. Looks like we're going to take some naval attrition just because of this storm. I could help out this siege a little bit, although in the end I don't think I'm going to be all that worried about it. And because this is going so well, I think I'm going to, well, gain some popularity. I think I'm going to go ahead and, well, get ready to fight another war against the Crotons. I will eventually cancel that tributary. Man, look at how far ahead of us they are in research. I guess that helps, because I guess research is mostly about the citizen ratio. Unfortunately, our son has died. Honestly, it's probably for the best. He was living a very painful and agonizing life. And fortunately... What? Who are you? How are you the primary heir? No, it should be you. Why is it not him? Are you gone? You're in Macedon right now. But he's just competing in the Olympics, maybe? We'll see what happens. Alright, we've captured 4 pops. That's awesome. Maybe it was a horrible... Alright, yeah, there he is. He's back now. He should be, once again, my primary heir. Let's see. He is weakest in charisma. Is there someone around his age that could help us tremendously in charisma? Yes, you. I wish you had some better finesse, but I think I'm going to go ahead and have her become our next, his wife. So he is awesome. Part of me just wants to go ahead and, like, build an army specifically for him. You also are good. I'm going to hold off. He's going to become a great military commander. I'm going to go ahead, sue for peace, and make you a feudatory. That was perfect. So perfect, in fact, I probably want to go ahead and do this to the Crotons. Let's just go ahead and move that army, these 2 armies in position to eventually advance into the Croton land. I'll move the fleet there as well. Having all these tributaries will make me much more powerful than the Lucanians. I might even start to think about breaking the Lucanians up amongst my tributaries. Let's not get any trade away any of our grain quite yet. Although the Lucanians are extremely useful, and I might use them maybe one more time to try to smash down Rome again. Rome is going to go ahead and start to get stronger, especially because it is allied with Etruria. We have massively defeated a pirate fleet, although we've at this point gained so many ships that we might start thinking about disbanding some because, well, they're a strain on our economy. I'm going to go ahead and cancel tribute. And I guess I'll have to wait until the 11th of April to send another diplomat. But when I do plan on going to war. The Crotons can already feel it. They have seen what has happened to the Hipponians. They know that our armies are massing on their borders. But yet they will be powerless to stop us. And we're going to go ahead and declare war here. They do have better troops than us. They are more advanced, but we, it seems, actually did catch them by surprise. We are going to capture one of their characters, as well as destroy 2 of their ships. We're going to move in approximately 28,000 men. Go ahead and unpause so that they can walk into Croton. We completely stack wiped them. That's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and move this army out. Back to Syracuse with you. If they are not there, they don't do any damage, but I don't love all the attrition that they're taking, so I'm going to go ahead and just move some horsemen in. Excuse me. I do hope maybe some of my allies will come and help me siege it down as well, but no, I don't actually know if they can march through Samnian lands, because if they are not in a war with Samnia. But I have a feeling war with Samnia may come sooner rather than later. Unfortunately, I am notorious about betraying my allies, although hopefully the Samnians don't quite realize that yet. Looks like the Brutii, they are marching some of their men just around. So are the Messanians. I mean, they're not at war with anyone, right? No, of course not. I could think about going ahead and just adding a breach to one of the walls. Yeah. Well, now I can't. Maybe because there is now a breach. Yep, now there's already a breach, so. Gain some prominence. I'll go ahead and leave my fleet here just to help with this siege a little bit. Looks like the Hipponians actually can travel through the Samnian lands. And unfortunately, we are still losing manpower. Or at least not gaining it back near as quickly as we would like. I think, though, it's going to be all for the best, because taking the Crotons will give us some additional manpower per month. It'll be 15% of whatever their manpower is, which is probably not going to be a ton. But hopefully, looks like we're going to lose a little bit of legitimacy, popularity. Oh well. It actually appears that the... Oh, I could become friends with the tribal chief. I'm going to go ahead and do that because maybe that'll help them just stay a little bit more loyal. It looks like the... Who are you? The Thorii are going to come and help us siege down Croton. Looks like they have a fort level of 2 in Croton. Yeah, fortress level of 2. That's actually huge. Now the Lucanians also want grain. Sicily, I'll tell you what, is such a breadbasket right now. But because we have so many pops, we can barely feed ourselves. So we definitely don't want to trade it away. And we have indeed finally won the siege of Croton. We have also won a great naval victory against some pirates, because pirates are terrible. So we of course attack them whenever we can. Also, I don't care about the pirates that much. Once you have a large enough fleet, pirates become just like, okay. Unfortunately, 3 pops died. We didn't take any slaves. Let's go ahead and sue for peace. And we will turn them into a feudatory. Which means we are... Oh, this is actually perfect. It does mean that we don't have quite the manpower. We're not going to start revitalizing our manpower quite as soon. But we are now at war with the Thorii, which, if you look, they are Hellenistic culture, which means we are going to take them as another feudatory. So we are going to just have quite the collection of feudatories down here in Magna Graecia. I'm going to go ahead and move you in. Winning this battle would be great because that would cripple their only army. Indeed, it does look like we are going to be able to handle them They are going to march back to Theorii with their tail between their legs, and I am going to follow. Meanwhile, our 73 boats is probably a little overkill. I think I'm probably going to eventually just delete some of these smaller ships, but we'll wait on that for now. Looks like we took out 1,000 of their troops from somewhere. Yeah, our horsemen came in and reached their city early to keep them from being able to reinforce their army. That's also going to mean that even in their shattered retreat, they are going to have to attack us, which is going to spell doom and gloom for them. Hopefully will also allow us to just stack wipe their army. It did not. They still have a force, but we have captured one of their greatest generals, and they indeed are able to start sieging down the city when the horsemen are reinforced with light infantry. Again, our manpower is very low right now, and that's just going to be how it is, at least until this war is over. I'm marching another 11,000 troops up to help. I think I'm actually going to have them stop in Consentia, because my feudatories are doing their job and they are marching troops in to help us. Yeah, having all these feudatories is going to be very beneficial, and I will focus on creating more tributaries from a little bit farther away, like outside of our range of influence. I might even start trying to come up here into like the Illyrian coastal region, see if I can create some tributaries there. I just want more and more people to be funneling their hard-earned money into the great, grand, and glorious Sicilian island. This is the cradle. This should be the center of civilization. It's the center of the Mediterranean. Ergo, it is right along the major trade lines. You would think that Sicily would become an absolute just powerhouse for trade and civilization and communication. And indeed, it will, because Sicily will continue to grow. It does look like our feudatory is continuing to expand a little bit in Corsica. They've actually colonized the province. Let's actually check out how they're doing as far as culture converting. They still only have these two territories converted. We are continuing to siege down there. Fort, it is just a fort level of 1, so nothing too crazy there. In fact, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Probably good enough to go ahead and move the 5th Stratos back to where it spends its winters. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and just hit the promote infrastructure spending in Sicily. And indeed, it looks like we have one. Real quick, I did hit that button just so I can get some more building slots. I know I have some in some of my cities, but I think it's useful, helpful. Let's go ahead and march our grand, glorious armies back. And go ahead and before our navy is engaged and wipes out their fleet, let's go ahead and sue for peace. You are going to be a feudatory. This helps because I didn't want to completely destroy their fleet, because I want them to have a strong fleet as a feudatory. Alright, we can either gain some loyalty and have a fortress built, but I kind of have all the forts I want right now. I'm instead going to funnel that money into our treasury. And I think from that, we should go for another... I'm going to go ahead and get monthly general loyalty up. And maybe one more invention. I'm not super worried about heavy infantry discipline because I don't currently have any heavy infantry. Assassination costs, I haven't really been doing that much. Enact law cost might be helpful. Army morale recovery would definitely be helpful, but instead I'm actually going to go with 5% manpower up. It's not 5% manpower regain, which would be a little bit more helpful at the current moment, but the higher my maximum manpower is, the higher my monthly manpower gain is as well. So alright, so let's just kind of take a look at where we are. We have, I think at this point, only 2 more Hellenistic provinces to capture in the in Magna Graecia. Let's go ahead and just look. So they are allied and with each other, and it looks like they are both in a defensive league with the Samniums. So it might be time to start thinking about war with Samnium. I don't think it'll be this episode. I think it'll be an episode down the line, mostly because I just want to recover my manpower. I think where our next war will be, though, is actually going to be in Sardinia, to take these two states as tributaries. They actually, they gain 4.18 gold per month, so that's not a terrible... If we took them as tributaries, they would have to give us 25% of that. That's almost a ducat per month. That's not terrible, right? Alright, so you don't gain near as much, but you only have a couple territories. Yeah, so this is definitely the country I'm going to go to war with next. I already have a claim, I believe. Turning them into a tributary may cause Carthage to get some more grand ideas about attacking Sicily. Let's actually see what Carthage is up to at the current moment. They only have 105 ships, whereas I have, what, 70-something? So, 73. So, I believe the last time we attacked, or we were at a war with Carthage, they had more than double. Ooh, it looks like the Lucanians are actually going to go ahead and break our alliance anyway. I'm going to see if I can hold on to that. I'm just going to improve some opinion. Establish an embassy. They probably realize that we are not in this for them, that we are only in this alliance for our gain. Even though our manpower is super low right now, I'm actually not worried about the Samniums at all. To get to us, they would have to go through all of our tributaries, and that really adds up. Let's see how many men they currently have to fight. They have 30 cohorts, but if you look, there are 8 cohorts here, there are 12 here, 12 here, right there. Just these little 3 feudatories that we have already almost equal, or actually, what? If you have 12, there's 16. Yeah, so just these these feudatories, excuse me, just those feudatories already get to the point where they are challenging Samnium. In fact, the opportunity to add 2 more feudatories here, and I think I would actually go ahead and expand my feudatory influence. I wouldn't just give it all of the Samnium land to, like, the Crotons or someone, but I might give the Crotons a couple provinces, maybe continue. Oh, and indeed, they did break their alliance. So, war with Samnium seems to be a dire possibility, and I think all of Sicily should relish in that fact. Of course, we will have to wait at least some time to allow our manpower to tick up, so I'm actually going to go ahead and hit that manpower recovery speed up again. Keep us going at almost 300 per month. That's not terrible. Let's go ahead and get another building. I think in this city, in Akgras, I'm going to build a fortress, not a fortress, a training camp. Help me get a little bit more out of the large amount of freemen I have there. That's good. We are still mostly focusing on culture converting in both of these provinces. That's good. They want grain. I don't want to give them grain. Our assimilation rate is about 3.5% in this city. Let's see what it is in Akgras. 3.4, 3.8, 2.7. I think I actually may consider building another city in Liliban. I have quite a few cities in this province anyway. Here I only have 3 cities in this province. Oh, I have a major death. Who is this? He's the brother. Oh, alright, so he just causes aggressive expansion to go down, so I just want someone nice and loyal. I don't have any aggressive expansion, don't plan on having any anytime soon, so I'm just going to go with my heir, maybe? No, I want my heir to be a general. Let's go with you. Again, don't plan on exporting any grain. Alright, so unfortunately we are just going to have to kind of sit here for a little while and let our manpower regain. I will go ahead and go to low army maintenance, low fleet maintenance to increase the amount of money I'm making every month. As you can see, I'm actually not doing terrible as far as tributary income. Those two tributes weren't making much money when you really look at things, so they weren't giving me a ton. Instead, this northern Sardinian nation, it's going to be the real jewel. Look at how much money it makes per month. That's going to be great. Let's see how many cohorts it has, though. 20 cohorts, so it's not going to be a walk in the park, although our armies do out-tech it significantly. Speaking of tech, let's take a look. We are making 50.6 research points per month, which means we're actually about to get another martial advance, which is going to give us access to another siege towers invention and increase the hostile attrition in our territory. I'm not super worried about that because I don't want to have many people in our territory. As long as we maintain a strong navy, we shouldn't really have to worry about that. Although the Carthaginians do still have a stronger navy than us, we're going to go ahead and get 2,000 manpower right there. That's going to help us reinforce a lot of these armies. I think you need about 3,000 more people to fully reinforce. You need about 1,400, so all of that should help us reinforce a little bit faster. Here, I'm going to go ahead and build another academy, since I've kind of gotten out of the habit of building a ton of academies. I've been focusing on other things, but I still want to just push that research rate right up there. In fact, I might start thinking, I know I've mostly been building temples over here, and it is slowly helping. But I just have so many pops of foreign cultures, like 14 Carthaginian, 7 So, I mean, this city's getting here. It's going to help. When I do convert them from, you know, one culture to from like Carthaginian to my culture group, that's going to make them inherently happier, which is going to make them more productive, which means, you know, if they're more productive slaves, I get more money. More productive freemen, I get more manpower. More productive citizens, I get more commerce income, but also I get more research points. And research points is hugely important to me right now. Don't really want to lose 63 gold. I could lose 30 legitimacy, don't want to do that. Instead, I think I'm just going to lose 5 popularity, 5 legitimacy, and 25 political influence. That's going to be okay. It's not what I wanted, but it happens. Also, I am still interested in converting these last, you know, 26 Canaanite people into Hellenic, because that's going to increase the strength of my Omen power. Increase my religious unity as well. Although, right now, it's pretty strong. I don't have a ton of people not of my religion. Looks like I did go ahead and get that martial advance, which means I get a morale bump. Also, I have access to the Siege Towers ability. I'm going to take that whenever I get a chance. An academy has been built. I know that I was saving up for an invention, but I'm actually going to go ahead and build another academy. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and move the General of the 3rd Strategos into the Olympics in Macedon. I'm going to go ahead and build an academy in Syracuse. It has a ton of citizens. We're going to decline that offer. And I am going to go ahead, take this army of 6,000 men, and place my son in command. Now, he gets heavy infantry discipline up. Now I'm actually going to... No, I'm going to leave those armies separated for now. He gets heavy infantry up. And there are no heavy infantry here, but I have no heavy infantry, period. So, it just is what it is. I might consider trying to build more men into this army at some point, although of course right now I can't do that because I don't have the manpower. However, I have now fully reinforced all of my standing armies, which means my manpower will actually start to go into my reserves, which is going to be nice. I'm going to see that starting to tick up pretty well because I am getting 300 per month. That's pretty good. I also have just had another civic advancement, which means my population capacity has gone up. My commerce income will go up as well. Oh, we didn't win. Commerce income goes up, and I have given access to this overseers, as well as the expanded financial remit. So those are definitely two inventions that I want. I'm starting to get a lot of inventions that I want. Let's just take a look at how much my wages are. That down 10% would be very helpful. It'll be down by 0.7, which means I'll be making roughly 8 ducats per month. That's good. As well as slave output up by 5%. That's going to mean I get more tax income. I do like seeing that, I don't know, I just like seeing how many feudatories I have, and they just seem to be marching around. And of course, I'm looking to take a few more, as well as add territory to the feudatories I already have. I want Magna Graecia to be a great Greek province, or region. Let's go ahead and look. It doesn't seem like they have converted the majority of in anywhere, but they are slowly converting to, it looks like, I think they're Sicilites. Let's see. Yeah. Sicilites. So they are slowly converting their pops. Looks like they're mostly tribesmen at this point. So they are eventually going to turn this area Greek. And again, I am trying to make Magna Graecia for the Greeks again. We'll see what happens there. I have a religious advancement. Omen power is going to go up, which is useful considering Omen power is helping my manpower regain, which is great. Anyway, I've been going for about 40 minutes, so that's where I'm going to have to end it for today. Look in the next episode for us to start to think about where we can gain some more tributaries, as well as see what has to be done about the Samnium issue, the Samnian problem. Looks like Rome is also amassing on our borders, so we will have to watch out for that. I've gained the trait Stubborn. That may not be good. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here, and let's just do a quick wrap-up of the world. You can see that Rome has made a comeback. Carthage looks to be coming and trying to take more territory in Iberia. That's going to just make Carthage stronger, so I may need to think about how I can interfere with Carthaginian issues. Maybe I will actually have to get that assassination cost down by 20% invention after all. We shall see. The Arvini continue to look like the dominant power in Gaul, whereas the Silurians look to be gaining good control of Great Britain. Phrygia, Macedon, and the Seleucid Empire, as well as Egypt, still seem to be holding that weird balance of power that they have maintained since the beginning of the game. Meanwhile, Armenia seems to have gained a little bit of strength. And that's kind of our wrap-up. Of course, the main story is how strong this little island in the middle of the Mediterranean is. If we actually look at score, are we anywhere near the top? Yes, we are in fact only behind the Marians as far as score goes. Well ahead of Rome, Macedon, Egypt, and Phrygia. Even Carthage, which, let's be real, Carthage could probably wipe us off the map if they really tried. Even Carthage has under, or just over half of our total score. As far as our ledger goes, if we sorted by number of pops, we are nowhere even anywhere near the top, but we do have 527. So that puts us, you know, what is that? Close to 15 or so in the world. And considering we don't have very many territories. We are way down there as far as number of territories goes. I think that's pretty darn good. Anyway, I have been Ben the Bold. You have been you. I hope you're enjoying the campaign. This is one of... I'm having a ton of fun making it. And I hope you tune in for the next one. I will see you tomorrow.